The vacation had been Lucy's idea. After everything that's happened, we need a break, a chance to reset. Lori was sure this had something to do with Lucy's newfound religion, but she wasn't even going to try and say no this time. Lucy continued, "The groves will be our chance to find inner peace and holiness." Yup, definitely the religious thing. To Lucy's credit, the groves were quite beautiful, and Lori could feel the calming effect on her soul. Eventually, they found their way to a place called the Holy Groves, and Lucy insisted on praying there while the Holy Master made his journey. Lori didn't know what the hell she was talking about. She tended to space out whenever Lucy went on about the particulars of her religion, so she left Lucy to her prayers and went exploring. When she heard the screams ring out over the gently rolling hills, Lori knew that he had found her once again. Damn it, Lucy, what have you gotten us into? Would she ever be free of Hans? Would she ever truly find inner peace? Welcome to Solo Party, I'm Kane, and we are back with some more Final Girl, this time with the scenario, The Vacation from Hell at the Sacred Groves. So I brought out the Series 2 playmat this time just because the Sacred Groves bring some extra components that the Series 1 playmat didn't have spots for. This one does, so it just has a little bit better of an organization for this one, and I'll probably just continue to use this one from here on out, just in case we get some more things like that, just for consistency. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of the new components that the Sacred Groves is going to be introducing and the rest of the setup, and then we'll get started. So next to the killer board, you can see that we have a Divine Wrath card and a Bloodlust Tracker extension. So let's take a closer look at those real quick. So this Divine Wrath, anytime we see this yellow lightning bolt icon here, that's going to be referring to this Divine Wrath card. And so we have a tracker on here. We're starting at 2, and this is going to be going up and down. And you're not going to immediately activate those effects when you go up or down to those numbers. There's going to be different effects that say unleash, and then like the yellow lightning bolt symbol. There's also a red lightning bolt symbol, but that is specifically for the killer that comes with Sacred Groves. So we'll just be keeping track of that. And so we've got our marker down here. We're starting on 2. And then we can check out the extension here. And so you can see this has the unleash Divine Wrath icon symbols. And so basically this is just does kind of exactly what you would think. Anytime you go up on the Bloodlust track, we are now including these in each of the lines as we go up. So the first time we move up the Bloodlust track, all of this takes effect, as well as we're going to increase the Divine Wrath by the number of victims on sacred spaces. And so I'll make sure you can get a closer look at the symbol here too real quick. This icon right here, these are sacred spaces, and there's going to be 3 of those on the board. That's going to be the Sacred Shrine, the Burial Ground, and the Holy Groves. So kind of like the window spaces from Creech Manor, these don't really do anything on their own, but they're going to be referred to for different effects. And generally, the more victims that are on those sacred spaces, the more wrath of the gods that you're going to incur. They don't like that, you know, us mere mortals are messing around with their sacred areas. And once we get to the finale for the killer, there's also this token that we're going to add to the killer's action. So you can tell here that once we get to the finale, we're going to keep unleashing at the start of every turn, keep increasing as well. So in addition to that token, we also get some special action cards introduced just for this that are going to help us manage that Divine Wrath track. So this tells you right here, this even has up to 3 successes. You're going to be able to decrease, and again, the red one, that's the Killer Wrath, that is only for Incanyamba, but we do have the yellow lightning bolts. We're going to be able to manage the Divine Wrath with these different atonement cards. They're 2-cost action cards. All right, last couple of things we'll look at here. We'll see the special setup. We still have our girlfriend out. Lucy's still with us, for better or for worse, I guess. And we start with the Holy Man event, which makes the, and I've already done this on the board and everything, this makes the victim farthest from the killer the Holy Man, and the Holy Man is not going to follow me, but every upkeep phase, the Holy Man's going to move 1 space closer toward the killer. And when the Holy Man's in the same space as the killer, immediately remove him from the board. If you were in his space, decrease both of the wraths to 1, but if you were not in his space, increase both of them by a total of 10. And so since we only have one, if the Holy Man goes away and we were not in that space, our Divine Wrath is going to max out. So we definitely want to make sure we're with the Holy Man at the end of his journey there. It is important to note that Lucy is going to remain in the Holy Groves praying for the Holy Man and his sacred walk to Hans, I guess. But until the Holy Man is no longer on the board, Lucy will not leave the Holy Groves. So we've got to get the Holy Man to Hans so Lucy will leave, but also making sure that Hans can't kill Lucy or really the Holy Man without us being there, plus the victims. We've got a lot we want to manage right now. But let's also look at the item real quick. This is the first time we finally got to see it. This is Lori's special weapon. Been shuffling it into the item deck, except for that first one where we didn't have any weapons. I didn't feel like that was thematically appropriate, but we finally got to see it. We didn't see it last round, but this time we drew it right on top. And so this is a Lori only weapon. And so I'm really excited to potentially get that out and maybe get to use that. Lori is really good with the bow and arrow. That is her thing. Okay, so starting out, I think since we know the first time we go up on that bloodlust track, and there are plenty of victims close to Hans, we're going to increase the Divine Wrath by the number of victims in the sacred spaces. And right now, we have 4 total. Well, 5 if we include Lucy. And Lucy's not going to move, so that's always a 1 that we're going to have towards any number of victims in sacred spaces until the Holy Man's gone. But that's to say it's very likely that we're going to go up at least 1, so I think we want to mitigate as much of the Divine Wrath going up as we can. So since they are closer, I think we're going to prioritize the victims at the Sacred Shrine right now and just try to get them out of the sacred space for now. So we've just got all of our 0 cost basic actions, so we're just going to start with a walk. Okay, 1 success, and we could discard 2 for another. Let's see. Getting 2 successes right here would be really nice because we could just walk in there and walk out without having to spend our other walk. And so, yeah, just in case we roll 2 misses, I think we'll just go ahead and get rid of our other walk and a short rest. So we're going to go down to 5 time. And we will just, well, I don't need to visualize it. We're just going to the Sacred Groves, picking them up, and bringing them back here. Well, we've only got 3 cards left. We've got 2 focuses and a weak attack. I think I might just go ahead and try to attempt a focus. Possible that we gain time. We always want to go down on the horror track when we can. So I'm going to at least try it right here. Don't really want to lose 2 cards, so I don't think I will choose that option if it comes up. Okay, same roll. I think we will just keep our 1 success as is. So we'll go down 1 on the horror track, lose 1 time. So we are now at 3 on the horror track and 4 time. Weak attack and focus in hand. Let's go to the planning phase. All right, with 4 time to spend, we don't have any movement cards, so I do think it is important to go ahead and start off by spending 2 to get a sprint. So I think for now, I want to go ahead and just grab 2 close calls, probably just for fodder, just to help us make sure we get a really good roll on the sprint or the focus. I was thinking maybe the atonement too, but let's see what happens with this next phase, and we can get that next time if we need to. I don't think we're gonna have anything too terrible happen. So then we'll continue to the killer phase. There's nobody in Han's space, so he does not attack, and we'll draw our terror card. Okay, horrific hammer rush. There are victims, so targeting closest victims. Moving 2, he doesn't need it. They're just 1 space away, but he's going to make 2 attacks and kill both victims. For each victim, an extra horror. Oh, no. That is a brutal way to start, but okay, let's take it to the board. So, Hans will target the victims in the Welcome Center. Move here, make 2 attacks. So there's 2 dead victims just like that, which is going to raise our Bloodlust by 1. And when we hit that one, we increase Divine Wrath by number of victims at sacred spaces. So we have 3 now. Our Divine Wrath goes from the 2 to the 5. anytime you would go over 10 or under 1, you just ignore anything that would take you over those. You can't go over 10, can't go under 1. There's no other penalty or boon associated with doing either. Okay, so we increase that, and then we go up 1 more, which will increase our horror. And then because of horrific hammer rush, we lost 2 victims, so we gain 2 more horror. That puts us right at 6, right at the threshold to going to 1 die. So really not looking good. What a welcome Hans gave us. All right. Then during the upkeep phase, all we have to do is move the Holy Man. And so the shortest route to Hans is just moving him 1 forward right here. All right, so I think right now our best bet is still going to be trying to get these victims out of the sacred spaces right now. So I think we're going to try to go to the burial grounds and get them out of action from there. So the best way to do that is with the sprint we just picked up. So we will play that. I was considering doing a focus, but I'm going to save that for later. There's no way I'm lowering the threshold enough to get to 3 die. So that is what it is. And here we go. Okay, we're rolling that one a lot today. 1 success, we could discard 2. Instead of re-rolling 1, I think I will just use a close call and a weak attack to guarantee the 2 successes, which will make me go down to 5 times, but I get to move 3 spaces. So I think I will actually then go 1, 2, I think I just take the easy saves here, maybe get some extra time to help me get some better cards in the action phase. Hans is moving straight towards us. I mean, we got to catch back up with the Holy Man too, just make sure Hans doesn't get all the way over there. 3 spaces away. I do not believe Hans has a way to get 3 spaces at the moment. And if he gets that teleport card where he goes to the farthest victim, the Holy Man is no longer the farthest victim, so that's good for that too. So I think we're safe with the Holy Man this turn. So we're fine with ending right there. We'll save these 2 victims. And I think we definitely want to go ahead and lower the horror and put us at 5. And then like I said, I do want to get make sure we have enough time for this one. So I do think I will just gain 2 time with Lori as well. Put us up to 7. And I think that's all I'm going to do this turn. I do not want to lose any more cards. I want to make sure I have enough things to do next turn. I've got 7 time to spend as well. So I think just saving right now is going to give us a chance at a really good turn next turn. All right, so we'll go ahead and get our 0 cost cards back. Okay, we do get quite a bit back. So we are at 6 in hand right now. And with 7, I mean, we have to spend 3 for a distraction. We've got to get some of this horror down. And then just the rotation of sprints is always useful. Let's go ahead and get that for another 2. Pretty much trying to decide between a guard, just in case, or an atonement. And I don't think I need the guard just yet, so I will take an atonement to help deal with this Divine Wrath. Currently, if they unleash Divine Wrath, which Hans will on his next kill, I'm going to lose 4 time. And so if I reset to 6, and then Hans gets to that, I'm going to be starting with 2 time next turn. And with 9 cards in hand, I'm not going to be able to do much with 2 time. So I really don't want that to happen. Let's hope I plan this all out right, and Hans does not get a kill this turn. All right, so our next tarot card is... He Wants Fresh Blood. Okay, there are victims, so he is targeting victims. Oh man, okay, he is going to get 1 kill. So this is doing numbers on our time right now. This is easily the roughest start we have had yet. Haven't lost hope for a victory, but this is hurting. All right, so when we go to the board, Hans is going to target, let's see, yeah, so this is them. He will move 2 and get to kill 1. Which, when you increase the Bloodlust, we unleash Divine Wrath. And so our 6 time goes down to 2 time. Yikes. So there was a victim that died. Hans does have a victim in the space with him. We will now go to the panic phase after we dropped our time down to 2. So let's roll a die to see where that victim will go. All right, got a 5. Let's look. Okay, so on a 3 to 6. Oh, they're going to go right into the burial grounds. We did not want that. But that does put them... No, I was going to say it puts us closer at least, but same distance. So pretty much no benefit. Only a negative there. But that's okay. 2 spaces away isn't that bad. And while 2 spaces away isn't that bad for me, I just realized that puts Hans right next to the Holy Man. So after the panic phase, we go to upkeep. The Holy Man is going to move into the space with Hans, immediately go away, and then since we are not in that space, we increase our Divine Wrath by 10. We can't go over 10. We're at 5. We just go straight to the top there. Wow. I really can't imagine a worse start for us. This is not going quite like the others have gone so far. But let's keep on trying. We got victims to save. They're counting on us. All right, extremely good call for us picking up the Atonement. It does not use time unless we get no successes. So this is going to help us manage that with our only 2 time we have to spend this round. Let's see what we can get. All right, we love that roll today. 1 success. Do we want to discard to 2? That'd be decreased by half. Yeah, and so the difference here is either decreasing it by 1 or decreasing it by half. And I think with all the cards we have in our hand, it's hard not to want to decrease it by half. We are at max. So we'll get rid of a short rest and a close call for guaranteed successes. And we can drop that back down to 5. So if it unleashes again, we're still losing 4 time, which is bad. But it's not discard all action cards except Atonement and decrease Divine Wrath by the number of cards discarded bad. It's not discard your entire hand bad. I think next we're going to see what we can do about this victim in the burial ground. We also, since the Holy Man is gone, Lucy can start moving with us at some point, but we're going to start with a sprint here. Okay, there we go. We should have placed a bet on rolling that. Our odds have been good. So we will go down 1 time with that. I got to pay attention to what time I'm using for these cards too. But we'll go down 1 time, get to move 2 spaces. Okay, we can get some time back if we get good. If we get a good enough roll on distraction. I'm really hoping we do. We are at 1 time. It is not looking good. Okay, hey, that's all I cared about. So we're going to go down to 4 horror, and we gain 1 time, so we're back up to 2. So I've got 2 walks and 2 focuses. I'm kind of wanting to use my walks to make sure to save this last victim, and then if I need to discard cards to get back up to 2 time for a guard, just in case Hans makes it to me for an attack. I think that's kind of what I need to do, because either way, one of us is getting hit probably with and taking a guard. I'm not going to have that much to do next turn, but oh man. Yeah, I think I have to, I think I want to do a walk and really hope I get 2 successes here. Okay, I can't get away from that roll. But if I save this victim, I can either get an action card that costs 2 time or just gain 2 time. And I think that's just as well. So yeah, I will get rid of a focus. I'm going to get rid of both of my focuses. I'm going to keep a walk so I at least have some chance at movement for next turn. And that is going to make me go down to 1 time. And I get to walk 2, get this victim out of there. Actually, I'll just go ahead and take an action card that costs 2 and go ahead and grab a sprint. So I've got a walk and a sprint. So I will actually switch that out. I'm going to throw a walk into the discard instead of a focus, since I ended up wanting to do that with my victim. And I think that is going to be it for Lori. We are going to hope that Hans does not move much this round, but things have not really been going in our favor. So let's see what happens with the killer face. All right, so first thing we can do is get back our weak attack. And we only have 1 time to spin, so we will grab the close call that we have available to us, and that's going to be everything we can do, and reset back to 6. Okay, and then for Hans, there is no one in his space, so we'll just draw the next terror card. Okay, Punishment of the Gods, Unleash. Okay, wow. We're gonna unleash twice. So yeah, Punishment of the Gods is really brutal. That's just gonna drop us down to below 0 for the time track, and that means we skip our entire next action turn. Yeah, real bad, real bad. And then after that, we are going to target. Let's see, it looks like it is equidistant, but there are more victims in the center, so that is where Hans is going to go. But with only one boot symbol, we're not quite at 2 spaces for movement yet. He's not going to make it there for an attack, but we will be drawing another event card. So we'll put Hans there and draw our event. Okay, Loud and Obnoxious. These tourists are so annoying that I might just kill them myself. Whenever Divine Wrath increases, increase it by an additional 1. All right, so we're already having trouble with that. That's only going to make it worse. But as far as events go, not too crazy. Everything else, though, has been absolutely abysmal. So we'll go to the upkeep phase now, where there's nothing really for us to do. And then we'll go to our action phase, which we know we are skipping. Go into the planning phase. We have 0 time to spend. We will get our 0 cost cards back, though, so we'll put those back in our hand. And now we'll reset to 6. And it's just back to the killer's turn, so we'll draw a terror card now. Okay, and now we have the Unholy Rage. Hans does an additional damage for each attack symbol, and he's got 2 more health there now. So we'll get that over there with the minor dark powers. And that's all for the terror phase, at least. Upkeep phase, still nothing to do. So, okay, that was pretty quick and tame. He took that chance to just kind of power up a little bit. He gave us a little bit of a break so we can hopefully do something this turn. So I do think we have decent odds at flipping over to get our ability before we start attacking Hans. I guess it's time to start considering weapons. Lori's bow is at the groundskeeper's shed, which we're pretty close to, and we've kind of been mostly using this exit we're on right now, so I feel like we'll be over here at least another time or two, so maybe not go there yet, but definitely keep that in mind. We have the ceremonial dagger down at Lost and Found, which is potentially, I mean, maybe we go straight through there instead of coming back up, take those victims farther away from Hans. We can kind of take this path down here, maybe loop, get our girlfriend on the way. Or maybe we just leave them as bait and we only need 3 more, we can save them. Yeah, I don't know, it's already looking pretty bad. I don't know how brave we're feeling saving these last victims in here. But I guess we won't find out until we see how we roll for this sprint. Okay, 1 success. So we'll go down to 5 time. And move up to 2 spaces. Okay, who am I kidding? Let's save them. 1, 2. And that'll do it for that, but we do have quite a few cards in our hand. We do have more walks as well. And so we can go ahead and get a little bit of distance. Let's actually do just that. We'll take another walk here. I can't resist a good victim saving. I need everyone to get out of here. Okay, 1 success here. And that will get us down to 4 time. And I think we will, yeah. We'll head down here, and we might actually stay right here so next turn we can try to get that ceremonial dagger so we at least have a little bit of offense before we get to Lori's bow if we need it. We'll be able to use ceremonial daggers to modify, say, like retaliates or something if Hans gets close. I don't know if we're trying to necessarily go straight for him with a dagger just yet. And with that, I think I would like to go ahead and do a focus. Okay, 1 success. That is going to let us lose 1 time and 1 horror. So we're at 3 on the time track and 3 on the horror track. I want to do a couple things here. I'm going to discard a weak attack and a short rest to gain 2 time to put me back up to 5. And then I think I want to end my turn there. I definitely want to get a search, maybe a search and a sprint, or a search and a distraction. So yeah, after discarding those 2, going up to 5 time, I'm going to go into the planning phase. We didn't have an action phase last turn, so I don't have any cards to recover. We've got 3 in our hand, 5 time to spend. I think I'm going to grab a distraction and a search. Go back up to 6. Onto the killer phase. Nobody's in Hans' location, so we'll draw a terror card. He kept swinging his hammer and killing and killing. So first, we're going to target the closest victim, move and attack. So let's see, we're at 1, 2 here and 1, 2 here, but Hans is always going to target the most, so we'll move down 1. Oh man, I was not expecting him to get 2 moves here. So he's going to come back into our space again and actually take out one of the victims there with me. Oh man. Okay, so that is going to put our Bloodlust up by 1, which will increase our Horror up to 4. And then our Divine Wrath is going to go up only by 1 this time. So we go up to 6. So now anytime we unleash, we're gaining 2 Horror. All right. Man, it's looking bad. I think we may be experiencing our first loss here for the series, but let's keep playing. We can always, there's always a chance to pull through in Final Girl. Now we will go to the panic phase. And hoping we roll a 1 here. A 1 would actually be perfect. And it's a 5, which is not a 1. Let's see, I'm assuming that's going to go into the Sacred Shrine. Yep, 4 to 6. Okay. Not the direction we wanted them to go for sure. Okay, things are looking pretty scary right now with Hans breathing down our neck. First thing we want to do is play this search card, see if we can get that Ceremonial Dagger. Okay, 1 success. I do not think we want to roll for 2. We're fine with just getting our item and losing 1 time. So we will go ahead and equip that because it does need a hand slot, but in melee range, it's going to add 1 damage to our attacks. And whenever we damage the killer, we can choose to decrease one of the tracks by 1. We only have 1 of them, so anytime we damage them with the Ceremonial Dagger, we will be decreasing the Divine Wrath. So that is very helpful. I think next thing I'm going to try is a distraction. Really mostly wanting it for the time. I want to be able to get Retaliate's guards, a bunch of different things from the planning phase. Okay, 1. Do I want to discard to make that 2 successes? No, I don't think I will. I think I'm okay with the 1, going down 1 horror and gaining a time. So back to 3 horror, back up to 6 time. Now I do think I want to go ahead and try to walk out of this location as well, just to get with these victims here. Hopefully Hans targets either just myself or optional victims or myself, because he's definitely going to be coming to this location if he moves because there's more victims. But I want to be able to guard or retaliate, so I'm hoping I am at least the target of this next attack. Okay, 2 successes. Finally, our first 2 successes today. We could have used that for a lot of other roles a long time ago, but we will take it now, down to 5 time. Move 2 spaces. Okay, that's actually really nice for us. Put a little more distance. I don't know if I want to go to the Holy Groves just yet, but I will bring the victims right here, 1 space away from being saved. So now it's more about, now I'm kind of hoping we target a victim and just send them to the Sacred Shrine, honestly. But with that, we're going to end it, and we have 5 time for our planning phase. So we'll get back our 0 costs. Put these up, or well, we'll wait to put those up. And so with 5 time, let's see, what do we want? Do we want to go ahead and go for retaliate or just stick with guard now? You're basically just getting a retaliate and a close call. Yeah, I'm not as concerned that he's going to be going after us this turn, so I think I'll be okay with just going down 2 and keeping a guard in our back pocket for now. I'm almost tempted to do another distraction for 3. I really want to get to 3 die here, but I am also close to my girlfriend, so let's see, what do we have for movement? Do we have at least 1 walk in here? We do have 1 walk. Oh, but I do think I would like a sprint, so I think I'm going to get a sprint and a close call. Okay, and there are no victims in Han's spaces, so we can just draw a tarot card. We got Taurus Trap. All victims adjacent to a sacred space move there. Okay, so we've got both of these adjacent. They're gonna move in, already in there, and this one is not adjacent to any, so we can leave it like that. And then increase the Divine Wrath by number of victims in adjacent spaces, of course. So by 4, we go all the way back up to 10. So we really do not need anyone to die because we're gonna discard our entire hand, and we have like 8 or 9 cards right now. Then it's gonna target the final girl or victim, so victim is closer. So we get lucky there at least, in that he's distancing himself, giving us a little more planning time. It doesn't go up to the unleashed part yet, so we feel good about that, but we are revealing the Dark Power. Sledgehammer Massacre. For every attack, Hans attacks you and each victim in his space once. So Hans now has a nice AoE attack for when he's gathered all those victims in those sacred spaces that all these tarot cards are doing to us. Perfect for a huge wipe there. So we really don't like that. We really don't like the victims grouped up right now. We definitely want to try to keep them, separated. But with that, there is no panic roll and there is no upkeep phase. So we'll go to our action phase. All right, definitely glad that we picked up that sprint last time because we are definitely going to use it. And since we have to go in there, I think we might prioritize grabbing our girlfriend. So let's go ahead and sprint and see what happens. Okay, so if we want 1 success, we're going to have to discard 2. I think with this one, I'm actually going to use a close call to reroll all dice for 2 time. Okay, 1 success. Not quite what I wanted, but at least I'm not discarding. So I'm going to lose 1 time, go down to 3, and move 2 spaces. So I will move in here, and finally reunited with Lucy. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab Lucy in one of them, and let's head back up this way, a little farther away. Time to fill Lucy in what's going on. Hans is back. We got to get out of here. I'm sorry it took me so long to get to you. People were dying everywhere. So much has happened. And now I'm going to go ahead and do a focus. Okay, so I don't think we want to lose 2 time for nothing, so I will discard 2 cards to go down the horror, and I'll get rid of a short rest and a weak attack. So we go to 2 horror and 2 time, and I think we will probably end it with that. Well, we could play our walk to try to get these last couple victims out. Leave our girlfriend in here so we can still use her for dice right now and saving this last victim. Yeah, I like that. Let's actually do our walk first. No matter what we roll, we're going to be able to get out of there, but just with less penalties, the better we roll. Okay, 1 success. Sounds good to me. We're going to lose 1 time, so we are down to 1 time. We might think about discarding a card again to go back up to 2, but we do get to save both of these guys, and that puts me right here. And for that, we still don't need to heal, so I'm not going to cover that up yet. we are going to gain 2 time. Okay, so we do get it from that. So there's 3 time, and then I get to move 1 space as well. So I will immediately just get to go back to Lucy. We are also now right next to the groundskeeper shed where Lori's bow is. So I am very interested in maybe getting that and switching out our ceremonial dagger. I do want to discard a card because I want to make sure I have enough for an atonement as well as another 2. So I honestly think I am just going to discard this close call. Don't really care about it all that much right now. Puts me at 4 for the planning phase. And honestly with that, let's just go ahead and go up to 6. We know what we're doing. Let's go ahead and get our search and our atonement. We're getting our walk back so we can end our turn in the groundskeeper shed, and we can just really hope that Hans doesn't get to that next victim before we can. We can go ahead and go to the killer phase. No attacks. Tarot card. Hans wants me. He's always wanted me. Finally. We get him where he's wanting to target us. But he's only going to move 2 spaces. Okay, excuse me. Our boot symbols are now at 2. So up to 4 spaces towards me and an attack. And I think that's actually all he needs. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Okay, I did not realize the boot symbols had gone up. This is still just as bad as it's been this whole time. And then with Sledgehammer Massacre, he's attacking me and my girlfriend. Oh no. All right, so there's really no avoiding this, but okay, we're gonna start with a guard for me. And we'll definitely make sure to roll that extra die while we have our girlfriend, because we're not gonna have her for long. Okay, 1 success on a guard lets me reduce it by 2. So I do take 1 damage there. And then there's nothing I can do about it. Lucy gets knocked over the head. Oh, Lucy, why? And it is just me, Hans, and 1 last victim that I feel like I need to try to save, honestly. To flip over and then have a chance to go one-on-one. And I forgot, Unholy Rage does an additional damage, so I took 2 from that. And now things are looking really bleak, but it's back to our action phase. With Lucy dying, our bloodlust goes up, and we unleash Divine Wrath, which is discard all action cards except Atonement. I have 1 Atonement, and I get to decrease Divine Wrath by 3, but I have to discard my hand. Wow. Y'all, this one did not go as planned. We will drop to 7. But with my action phase, all I have now is Atonement. I mean, I will be playing it. No doubt about that. Well, let's see. And okay, I have no cards to discard. So that is an automatic no success, which is going to make me lose 2 time and increase my horror by 1. So I'm at 2 horror and 4 time going into the planning phase. Hans has got my number. And with 4, I mean, he's either coming for me or he's gonna go kill the victim. Nothing I can do about it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure I have a retaliate. I'm getting a lot of 0 cost cards back. It's pretty much just back and forth at this point. And then we'll go to Hans' phase. And I wasn't able to move because all of my cards were discarded. So I will be getting attacked for 4. And I will go ahead and use that retaliate. Okay, 1 and 2. I think I would like to discard to make that ignore all damage and then deal 2 back. So I will get rid of, probably not walking too much. I'll do 1 of each, 1 walk, 1 focus. Ignore all damage to deal 3 damage back thanks to the knife. And that'll also let me decrease the Divine Wrath whenever I damage the killer with that. So we at least take the 2 health off of Unholy Rage, and we get to discard that. And then 1 off of Hans's regular health. So he is down to 11. The first hit on Hans has been made in retaliation. And then we'll go ahead and decrease our Divine Wrath by 1 from the Ceremonial Dagger, putting us at 6 on that track. And then Hans gets to draw a tarot card. He just keeps coming. So yeah, I'm right there. He's gonna stay there with me and make another attack. All right, and with that, I don't have any more defense. I am at 3 health. Hans is dealing 3 damage. So let's look at our final health token here. Okay. Could it end just like this? Let's find out. 1, 2, 3. And just like that, Hans is victorious. Okay, y'all. That was a short one. That extra divine wrath on the Sacred Groves is brutal. Sacred Groves is a map I had not yet played before, so I definitely was not familiar with those mechanics, and maybe should have paid more attention to the atonements, maybe been using those a lot more. But yeah, that was the part 3 of Hans's story, The Vacation from Hell, with Lori and Lucy. Lucy continuing to get us into all sorts of trouble. This time we did, both of us just get knocked out over here north of the Holy Groves, right next to the groundskeeper's shed, as we were trying to go and get Lori's bow to fire off some attacks from a distance to save this last victim. But be that as it may, this time Hans came through. He's figured out our tricks from these last 2 battles. He was like, all right, I've got it figured out. So we'll continue the story with part 4 of the series next time. Thanks for watching. This is Solo Party. I'm Kane, and I will see you all next time for some more Final Girl.